How y'all doing today? Alright, so I have a new deck tech for y'all, and it is a legacy deck tech. It is the Exiler MTGO Precon that you can buy in the store. And I wanted to show this off because it's actually pretty well built for a Precon. It's $30 and it comes with a lot of good value cards. Um, and I mean, it's pretty well built. It's a very good deck to start out with. It's pretty much white weenie control in a way. You can kind of put it that way in a sense. Um, so we'll go right into the creatures, let y'all know what they do and the interactions with it. You got 3 Stoneforge Mystic. It is a staple in Legacy if you're playing white most of the time. There's a 1/2 for 1 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. And then you can pay 1 and a white and tap it. You may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. So pretty much, you would run like if you added stuff to this, like add Batterskull to it, sneak in a Batterskull turn 3, and then just start beating face with it. So there, you start gaining life, but it doesn't come with a Batterskull, sadly. Then you've got 4 Mangara of Corondor, 1/1 for 1 and 2 white, legendary creature. Tap, exile Mangara, and target permanent. It gets rid of anything you really don't want to see. Legendary creatures, Vendilion clicks, stuff like that. It runs 1 Weathered Wayfarer, a 1/1 for 1 white. Pay a white, tap, search your library for a land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if an opponent controls more lands than you. A lot of the times I sideboard this out. It used to run it in the old version of Death and Taxes, and that's pretty much what this is. But it can work in certain situations. I kind of like how they have it as a 1-of in here. And then moving on, you've got 4 Benevolent Bodygaurd, a 1/1 for 1 white. Sacrifice it. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. You could update these 4 for Mother of Runes. It does the same thing, except you don't sacrifice it, you tap it. And it's a 1/1 for 1 white. Then you have 3 Ethersworn Canonist, a 2/2 for 1 and a white. Each player who casts a non-artifact spell this turn can't cast additional non-artifact spells. Very good against Storm, against a lot of decks actually, because Storm is normally popping in first, second turn, and most of the time third turn. Because there's a lot of different decks out there. With Storm in it, you got Ad Nauseam Tendrils, which most of the time they can pop turn 2, most of the time they're turn 3. And then you've got Goblin Charbelcher, which either they're gonna deal infinite damage to you, or they're gonna end up empty the warrens for quite a bit. So it just gives you another out. Then you've got 3 Jotun Grunt, a 4/4 for 1 and a white. I can't even say that word. That upkeep, put 2 cards from a single graveyard on the bottom of their owner's library. I really don't like this card. It's more of a late game card. Unless you have a whole bunch of stuff in your graveyard. Because most of the time it's like you're playing a 4/4 for 1 and a white. It's going to block something, and then at your upkeep it's just going to die. So, I mean, I really don't like that. Then you got 4 Flickerwisp, 3/1 for 1 and 2 white. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So, pretty much, you can bounce your Stoneforge, search for stuff, or like just bounce a whole bunch of different stuff. In theory, bounce, but I mean, it works as a very good white control card, and it gives you a body. Then you've got 3 Serra Avenger, a 3/3 for 2 white. You can't cast it during your first, second, or third turn of the game. Flying Vigilance. Most of the time you're sneaking it in along with all these other cards through Aether Vial. What Aether Vial does, it's a 1-cost artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on Aether Vial. Tap this, you may put a creature card with a converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on this from your hand onto the battlefield. So you're sneaking it in. So pretty much if you play that first turn, third turn, you're having a Serra Avenger without paying its mana cost. Or like just sneaking in Stoneforge, and then that'll trigger and you'll grab your equipments. Then you've got 1 Bonesplitter. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and its equipment cost is 1. Again, I would switch that out for a Batterskull if I had the chance. But we don't have a Batterskull on here, and I'm not dropping $40 on it. And then you've got Umezawa's Jitte, or Jitte, I call it Jitte. 2 casting cost, legendary equipment. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Jitte. Remove a charge counter from Jitte. Choose 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, or you gain 2 life. And the equipment cost is 2. That's not a bad card at all. It's pretty much a legacy staple. Same thing with Aether Vial, Ethersworn Canonist, stuff like that. And then we've got 4 Swords to Plowshares. It's 1 white, instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power, which is very good in this format. You could run Path to Exile, but they end up getting another land, and you don't want that. But a lot of the times, like whenever I switch this deck up, I would end up running Path to Exile in board as a 2-of. That way I can just exile something that I don't want to see. So it'd be stuff like that. And then it runs 3 Oblivion Ring. 2 in a white. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile another target non-land permanent. Whenever this leaves the battlefield, return the exiled permanent to the battlefield under its owner's control. So, hits planeswalkers, hits artifacts, hits everything but a land. So, it's really good in here. I don't see Oblivion Ring actually doing anything much in Legacy. It's rare when you actually see it. But it is a very, very good card. Now, moving on to lands. We have 3 Flagstones of Trokair. And it's a legendary land, tap at a white. Whenever this is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a Plains card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, shuffle your library. Pretty much, it's another way to just thin out your deck. And the new legend rule, it's like, okay, I'm going to play my Flagstones. First turn, play Aether Vial. Second turn, I'm going to play another Flagstones, sack one of them, get another land, thin out the deck a little bit. Then you have 3 Karakas. By no means is this card cheap in paper Magic. I believe right now at this point, I think the regular is $60 to $70 and the promo is about $80 to $90. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I hadn't checked prices. But tap, add white to your mana pool. Tap, return target legendary creature to its owner's hand. The way this works, it's like, okay, I'm going to activate Mangara, targeting this. I'm going to Karakas, return Mangara to my hand, and then exile their creature. Very, very fun to do when it does work. But it only hits creatures, so Jitte just kind of, if it's going to die, it's going to die. And then it runs 2 Mishra's Factory. It's pretty much a Mutavault. Tap, add 1 to your mana pool. Pay 1. It becomes a 2/2 Assembly Worker artifact creature until end of turn. It's still a land. And then tap, target Assembly Worker creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's just a Mutavault that can pump another Mutavault, pretty much. That's the easiest way to put it. And then you are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're running 14 planes in here. Most of the time you're going to be running, like the actual list, it'll run 4 Wastelands, 4 Reaching Ports, and I think 3 or 4 Karakas. So, and Reaching Ports are expensive, and Wastelands are about $80, $80 to $100 right now. And what Wasteland does, if you don't know, tap it and sacrifice it, destroy target land. Target non-basic land, sorry. A very expensive card, very good. There is no downside to it whatsoever. They don't get to search like you would with Ghost Quarter, which Ghost Quarter ain't a bad option because a lot of decks in Legacy do not run basic land. They run nothing but like dual lands and sack lands. So, and there's that Exiler deck right there, and then this is the sideboard it comes with. Comes with one more Ethersworn Canonist. Comes with 4 Kor Firewalker, 2/2 for 2 white, protection from red. Whenever a player casts a red spell, you may gain 1 life. Very good against anything mono red. And yes, mono red is a thing in Legacy, and it's actually a very powerful deck if you put it in the hands of the right player. And then you've got 4 Relic of Progenitus, 1 costing artifact. Tap, target player exiles a card from his or her graveyard, or you can pay 1, exile this, exile all cards from all graveyards, and you draw a card. I mean, it doesn't have a downside to it. Personally, I like Surgical Extraction a lot better. And, I mean, it's really good. Like, what I would do is a 2-2 split of Surgical Extraction and Relic of Progenitus. Just because the surgical, it's like, okay, you're going to throw in a Emrakul. It's like, I'm just going to pay 2 life and I'm going to get rid of it while the trigger is on the stack. And just exile all the Emrakuls they have in their library in hand and stuff. So, it's really good. And then you're running 3 silence and board. Pay a white. Target your opponents can't cast spells this turn. It's really good. They switched the way it actually works, because used to what it would do is if something was on the stack, you would silence, and it's entering the battlefield, it would cancel it out. New rulings, it'll still come into play, but they just can't cast anything else. And then they're running 2 Aura of Silence, 1 and 2 white enchantment. Artifact and enchantment spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. Sacrifice this, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Good card, especially against Storm. I think that's pretty much the reason why it's in here. Because back when I think this thing came out, Storm was really, really big. And then you got 1 more Oblivion Ring in here. So, that's the deck. We can go into a tournament practice and try it out. There we go. Hopefully we got some people in here playing. And we'll see how it goes from here. I mean, it can hold its own. Keep in mind, it is not a tier 1 deck like this version of it. But it can be. And I'm going to pitch that because this is a bad opening hand. So, this one I'll try and keep it because I don't want to mull down. So, I'm not going to mulligan. I'm actually going to play my Mishra's Factory first. That way, if I do hit something, if I don't hit anything, I'll hit a body. Oh, we're playing against Death and Taxes. Or, Pox, rather. This is awesome. And see, I hit my Ethersworn Canonist, so I'm just going to play it. That way, we don't have anything hitting us. I lied, we're playing against Dredge. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. Grafdigger's Cage would be another very, very good card. And we hit a Stoneforge. So we're going to get in there for 2. And then we're going to pay a white and that. And we'll send in our Stoneforge. And we'll just go ahead and grab our Jitte. See, he conceded from that. He's playing Monolith Dredge. I hate this version of it. And then, see, this is where all the relics would come in. I'm actually going to take out the Oblivion Rings because they're not going to be good in this matchup. And I'm just going to take out the Jotun Grunts because I just don't like Jotun Grunts. And then one more Ethersworn Canonist. And our Kor Firewalker, just to have it in here. Because Jotun Grunt, to me, as I said, it's horrible, horrible. And see, this, I'm actually going to keep it because I've got that first turn Aether Vial. I mean, this is probably a bad aspect to keep, but I've got that first turn Aether Vial. I have a source of Plowshares in my hand. So we'll go with an Aether Vial. And normally, like, if I wasn't playing against Dredge, I would not keep this. Okay, he's got Dredge online. So he can Dredge 3 now. Yes, I'm going to use that ability, draw step, play my land. We'll just go ahead and get a Stoneforge out. And we'll grab the Jitte again. Next turn, we'll play Ethersworn Canonist. Wait, what? How'd you kill it? I really don't know how he killed it. Okay, that's how. Okay, he hit an Archimeeba. That's fine. Put a counter on it. Hopefully we draw into a relic. And we didn't. So what I'm thinking is we'll just leave this where it's at. Not swing in, just in case he hits a big creature. He can't Dredge, but he can Phantasmagorian. Discard 3 cards. He's going to Dredge 5. Return that to his hand. Okay, he hit 4 Ichorids, a Street Wraith, and a Dryad Arbor. End of turn, we're going to put in a Ethersworn Canonist. And we'll see what happens. He's going to kill it because he's running Contagion. I'm thinking, yeah, we'll go ahead and use it. And we shouldn't have because there was our 3/3. But it'll be fine. We'll throw in the Jitte. Whenever he dredges again, all we gotta do is Flickerwisp. And we can get rid of one of the Dickerids. Because he has 4 in there, but he doesn't have any Bridge from Blows. Okay, he's gonna come into play. He's gonna come into play. And they're not. See, what did he hit? He hit a Golgari Thug, Nature's Claim, and a Narc Amoeba. Okay. That happened. Swinging that. We're gonna Flickerwisp in. I'm gonna exile that dude. And we won right there. Because I've got a blocker. So that's how the deck works, guys. As I said, you know, there's a better version of this. You've got your four relics against Dredge is really good. And I mean, I do not recommend even building Dredge. I have it built in real life, and just there's so much graveyard hate that it's not a viable deck anymore. I mean, you can get lucky because I mean, I think if that guy kept playing, he would have beat me because I didn't hit my relic. But if I would have hit my relic, it would have been cast it and then sack it, and he loses everything. That's the only issue with that deck. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this. So we'll catch y'all later in the next deck tech. I'm working on something special for the legacy players. It's not really a homebrew, but it's not really, we'll say, top tier. It's a good deck if you know how to run it. And it just against control, it's really good. So we'll catch y'all next time.